Lots of fans on hand. 34,000 yesterday, and it promises to be a full house here this afternoon. This is the rubber game of this 3-game series. And the Blue Jays had a dramatic comeback and a walk-off win in 10 innings yesterday. Take a look at the lineup for Freddie Gonzalez. Nick Markakis, the former Oriole, has a 4-game hit streak. He's got 8 for 12 with 4 runs scored during that hit streak, and right behind him, Freddie Freeman will DH for the first time in his career here this afternoon. And you certainly want his bat in the lineup against the Blue Jays. 388 career hitter against the Blue Jays.
He's been raking. Going to have to shut him down, and Daniel Norris has got to do that this afternoon. Third start of the season. He gave up 2 runs on just 2 hits over 5 innings versus Tampa as the Jays lost the game in his last start. He admitted that he did not have his best stuff, but battled his way through the start and gave the Jays a chance to win that game.
Daniel Norris, just 21 years old. He'll turn 25 later on this, he'll turn 22 on the 25th of April. Cameron Maben counting his favor 2-0.
Be careful here. Maben's got 2 leadoff home runs in his career. He's got some power.
3 straight balls, and Daniel Norris has to get command of that fastball quickly.
Yeah, that's the one thing that really has eluded him, I think. He was talking about not having his best stuff, and I think part of that is fastball command. It's just getting out over your front side, and your release point's got to be a little bit more towards home plate.
You'll remember when the Blue Jays signed Daniel Norris, they rebuilt his delivery. Tom Hallion says strike 2. Back into the count. It's 3-2. Alberto Callaspo, switch hitter on deck, and there's a little looper. That's going to drop. Bautista plays it deep into right. Leadoff base hit for Cameron Maben. Blue Jays defensively in the outfield is Kevin Pillar, Dalton Pompey, and Jose Bautista on the infield. Josh Donaldson is at third. Ryan Goins starting in place of the injured Jose Reyes. Dalton Travis, Devin Travis, and Justin Smoke on the right side. And the Russell Martin veteran behind the plate.
And the smooth glove of Justin Smoke back in the lineup for the Blue Jays today. With the left-hander on the mound, Smoke, for me, looks real good at first base. He can save a lot of errors.
He is 2 for 2 this season against lefties, and he's a switch hitter that's a very good fielder. Alberto Callaspo, this is his 32nd birthday. He's off to a good start with the Braves. Norris ahead 0-2.
More of a hard slider right there from Norris. He's got weapons to get you out. He's got a good curveball and a slider, a decent fastball. We haven't seen the best of Daniel Norris just yet.
This is his 4th big league start, 3rd of the season. He has really been fighting his release point, and Russell Martin's going to go out and talk to him. And Daniel really wants to get everything going. He, by his own admission, said, I haven't been right yet.
Yeah. Miles per hour, I think, is the first thing that, we were talking to some of the Blue Jay people, and he's 95, 96 miles an hour with his fastball, and it's been 92, and I think at times he's tried to generate some more speed on his fastball by overthrowing a little bit, and that's why you see a lot of pitches up out of the strike zone. His curveball is one of the best. He just has not been able to command it effectively.
And you see that one's just 88 miles an hour, and he's really trying to force it, and he just needs to relax and let that ball come out of his hand. Full count, nobody out. Maben at first, and there he goes. Cut on and missed, and Russell Martin's throw is in time. Strike him out, throw him out. Russell Martin has thrown the baseball very well.
The first thing that jumps out at you when you watch Russell behind the plate is how quickly and how accurately he throws that ball from behind the plate. He had to dodge around Callaspo on the strikeout. Watch the right-hander swing at this changeup down and away, and now Russell's got to throw around him and over him to get Maben. But it's accurate. I watch him in between the innings all the time, and he really takes a lot of pride in making that throw down to second base. There's the tag as Travis took the throw. It's accurate every single time, right on the bag.
7th runner that Martin has thrown out this season. He's over 40% success rate of throwing out base runners. This is Nick Markakis. We mentioned his 4-game hit streak. He has 8 hits in his last 4 games. Boy, what a turn of events for Norris. On a 3-2 pitch, he strikes out Callaspo, and then Russell Martin throws out Cameron Maiden.
Very easily could have been ball 4 also, but Callaspo, who struck out for the first 2 times of the season yesterday, strikes out again here to lead off his first at bat.
Callaspo's tough to strike out. Markakis is tough to get out. Another hit for Nick Markakis. That's a 5-game hit streak now.
Let's take a look at the scouting report for Daniel Norris. To see the fastballs right there, it says just 52% of the time he's used his fastball this season, and it's generating 91.5 miles per hour. We'll watch that today. I think that's key, to use the fastball, see if that percentage goes up this afternoon, but he's got to put it in a good place. His changeup is a pitch that he's been working on. He's trying to turn the ball over just a little bit more against the right-handers. That was the pitch he used to get Callaspo with, showing a lot of savvy in throwing that 3-2.
So 19 pitches in the first inning. Obviously, you want to stay around 15 pitches per inning. This is Freddie Freeman. For his career, he's hit .383 against the Blue Jays. This ball is trouble down the left side. Pilar is going to play it off the wall. Markakis is headed to third. They'll hit the cutoff man, and Freddie Freeman, in his first at bat as DH, gets an opposite field double.
You know what, Buck? You were talking about how big that play was, the strike him out, throw him out, simply because you had Markakis and Freeman coming up, who have been raking the Blue Jays this whole series. A couple of left-handers, and Norris couldn't get Markakis, and now Freeman takes this ball the other way. He's a notorious pull type of hitter. Hits the ball to right field, but he slices that one. Pilar makes a great play, barehanding the ball and getting it in quickly to keep Markakis at third.
2 outs. This is Chris Johnson, who's playing first base this afternoon.
They have him in the lineup because he has absolutely worn out lefties in his career and last year for sure.
This season, he's 2 for 5 already against lefty pitching. 1 for 7 in the series for Johnson. Norris just has to think about making a pitch to get out of this inning. Uses that changeup. He uses that pitch with a lot of confidence.
Yeah, 2-0 fastball count right there, and Daniel's able to use that. His changeup used to cut into right-handers, so they made a little bit of a grip change and a release point change, and now it's going away from the right-handers.
Two and two. Daniel Norris has evened the count. Markakis with a single, Freeman with a double, second and third, 2 outs. It's a full count. Johnny Gomes is on deck, and no, he is not a left-handed hitter. He's just loosening up, and of course Johnny Gomes had that big pinch hit home run here on Friday night. He walked him. So 2 back-to-back 2-out hits, now a walk. That's loaded the bases. 3 hits in the inning. And Pete Walker's going to come out and give Norris a little bit of a breather.
3 hits in the inning, 4 base runners in the first 5 batters that Daniel has faced this afternoon. And I'm just going to have to just figure this one out. Pete could say something like, hey, hang over the rubber just a little bit longer. You're flying open or you're rushing towards home plate. You see that a lot with young pitchers, don't you? They're a little anxious. They get a little bit ahead of themselves, a little bit too quick. And then the ball's flying all over the place. Just slow things down.
Just a rhythm and timing issue right now. And Daniel just trying to get zeroed in. Make some good pitches now. Bases loaded. Johnny Gomes steps in. He has 5 career grand slams. He's hit 12 home runs against the Blue Jays in 87 career games. His pinch hit home run was his 10th of his career. That came on Friday night against Brett Cecil. Heard Tom Hallion say ball out, off the plate, away.
Well, if you're a pitcher and you are not showing command of the strike zone, you're not going to get the borderline pitch either. And right now he has thrown 27 pitches. If it's a 50-50 call, you're not going to get it.
The Blue Jays made a roster move today. They called up Canadian Jeff Francis from AAA Buffalo, and Francis took the spot of Colt Hines, who was sent to the minors. We mentioned that just because Norris has the elevated pitch count early in this ballgame, and there is Jeff Francis. Back in the big leagues.
Back in the big leagues. They've used the bullpen a lot. They got the starter yesterday, R.A. Dickey, was the first starter of the Blue Jays to go 7 innings yesterday for the first time this season. So they've been using the bullpen a lot. So they need some reinforcements.
One and 2 to Johnny Gomes. The Braves, in their loss yesterday, were 0 for 5 with runners in scoring position.
Johnny Gomes is way up on the plate here, way up towards the batter's box. He's almost stepping out of the batter's box. Looks like he wants to try and take away that changeup or possibly that curveball from Norris. Way up in the batter's box, that front foot standing right on the chalk line.
There's a ball driven to center. Pompey is there and missed it. Dalton Pompey has it go off his glove. That's going to clear the bases as there's no relay throw. Pompey never got turned around, played it off his glove, and the Braves take advantage.
You know, the first thing, it looked like he took a step in right when the ball was hit by Johnny Gomes. Took that one fateful step on in and then tried to recover and just never was able to pick up the baseball. Watch him out there in center field. The ball's hit. He steps in and now realizes this ball is hit over his head and just cannot recover. It's off of his glove. Still looked like he was going to make the catch, but that ball slices back over his head, and 3 runs are going to score.
This is Christian Bethancourt. He is catching this afternoon. First time we have seen him in this 3-game series. A.J. Pierzynski, the veteran, was behind the plate for the first 2. There's a fly ball to left. Pilar is there, and the inning is over. But Daniel Norris has a tough first inning, 33 pitches. Johnny Gomes delivers the 3-run double. the offense is certainly capable of scoring 3 or more. Take a look at the lineup today. Top of the order. How about Devin Travis? Off to a great start. This is his first season in the big leagues. Got a 7-game hit streak. He's 11 for 29, and he's driven in 9 runs during that hot streak. And right behind him, another red-hot hitter, Josh Donaldson, batting .340 over his last 10 games. He's hit .410 with 3 home runs and 10 RBIs. Top of the order is on fire.
They're going to have to be good because they're in tough this afternoon against Shelby Miller. He acquired from St. Louis for Jason Hayward. He's gotten off to a great start with his new team. 1-0 with a 90 earned run average. He's pitched 5 innings in both of his starts so far this year, winning one. That ERA is excellent at 0.90. Jays know all about Shelby Miller.
Saw him here last June 7th when he was pitching for the Cardinals. He matched up against Mark Burley on a Saturday afternoon and threw his second complete game shutout, a 3-hitter. Here is Devin Travis. Miller will use a lot of fastballs. We saw that before with him. Travis falls behind. Devin is 16 for 45. That's a .356 average.
Another fastball. You're right. He'll throw a lot of fastballs. He's got the curveball, the cutter, sinking the ball just a little bit more this year, trying to get quicker outs instead of the strikeouts that run up the pitch count.
Shelby Miller is just 24 years old. This is his 66th career start. Came up early with the Cardinals.
Boy, 3 24-year-olds that we have seen in this series from Atlanta. Their future is very bright.
Travis covers that outside pitch. Blue Jays starters in this series have really struggled in the first inning. Drew Hutchison threw 25 pitches in his first inning. R.A. Dickey 32, and today Daniel Norris 33 pitches in the first. Tough to pitch deep into a game, although Dickey rebounded and pitched very well. Boy, that hit Devin Travis hard right in the stomach. Got turned around and he's waving off the trainer. But that hit him flush in that stomach, may have knocked the wind out.
It's a tough kid. He's been getting beat up around second base on some takeout slides, and now he takes one right in the side from Shelby Miller. Here's the 2-seamer. Watch that ball just zero in right on the side, maybe the lower part of his ribs.
That hurts. Obviously no intent, as Miller was just trying to run that fastball inside, but intent or not, it hurts. Josh Donaldson, we mentioned, he's swinging a hot bat. He's hit .410 over his last 10 games. Had the walk-off home run in yesterday's game. Lead-off home run in the bottom of the 10th. That was his 5th career walk-off homer. Nothing like a good start when you're joining a new team.
Yeah, on the first homestand, get a couple of big base hits, get the crowd behind you. He had a good approach against the young pitcher Merrimon. High changeup. He hit it straight up, but it carried out of here.
Donaldson in this series has 5 hits. It's off the end of the bat. That's not going anywhere. Maben comes in a couple of steps and makes a catch. Take a look at the defense. This is the best defensive ball club in the majors. They've committed just 1 error this season. Johnny Gomes making his second start in left field. Cameron Maben in center. Nick Markakis, a Gold Glover in right field. The infield, Cayaspo's committed the only error at third base. Simmons and Peterson up the middle. Chris Johnson is at first base, and Christian Bethancourt is the catcher.
Chris Johnson over at first base gets the start this afternoon. This is his first start at first base. Freddie Freeman has started every game at first base. Freddie's also one of 4 major leaguers, play 162 games last year. So he gets a half a day off, gets the DH. Chris Johnson slides over from third base, across the diamond over to first, gets his first start.
Jose Bautista hit a go-ahead home run in the 8th with Donaldson aboard. Hit that off of Jim Johnson, and Bautista gave the Jays a lead. It didn't last very long, but he had a dramatic home run that took the Blue Jays from trailing to a run ahead.
Yeah, it was a good sign to see as he took Jim Johnson out of here. Second day that the Blue Jays have hit a home run off of Jim Johnson.
2-0 to Bautista.
Jim Johnson's got a great sinker, so it's tough to get the ball in the air. For him, though, he just couldn't get the ball down. Jose knew he got it. This actually put the Blue Jays ahead. A no-doubt home run to left field. They give up the lead in the 9th inning and then win it in the 10th.
Snap throw. Bethencourt has a cannon for an arm. Got to be on your toes on the bases. As you just saw, he'll throw behind the runner.
He had to slide on that area where he just got hit by Shelby Miller and asked for a little time. Head first slide.
Boy, he's hurt. He's going to take some more time, and this is not good.
They've already lost one middle infielder with a rib injury and a side injury in Jose Reyes, and now Devin Travis. Remember, he got drilled with that fastball. Looked like it might have caught him in the ribs.
You can see he's feeling it under his rib cage as if it might have hit the bottom of that rib cage. And if that's the case, obviously, that's a concern. Looks like he's going to leave the game. And Devin Travis reluctantly being walked off the field. And that's going to be the case. Steve Tollison quickly will grab a helmet and take over at first. And Travis is in some pain.
Well, he got hit flush with that fastball by Shelby Miller. And then he had to dive back into first base on that side. Watch it one more time. Back part of the bag. And that side gets hit. And he's like, wait a minute, something didn't feel right here. Man, that's too bad.
Yeah, it is. He was up to a great start with the bat, of course. And now you see he's feeling what appears to be the bottom of that rib cage on his left side. Blue Jays are already without Jose Reyes for the next couple of days at least. So Tollison, who had a good game as a starter yesterday, Tollison takes over as a pinch runner. Tollison went 2 for 3 in that game with an RBI triple, and he scored a run. Straight back in our direction. Full count, 1 out. Braves scored 3 runs in the top half of this inning. Encarnacion waits on deck. Ball 4. Bautista takes another walk. That's 10 walks for Jose already. And let's check in with Barry Davis.
Well, guys, it's a good thing for the Blue Jays they have a day off tomorrow because they're still waiting to see how Jose Reyes is. He was out on the field today doing a little stretching exercises. He told me his ribs do feel a lot better, but because he hasn't had a chance to hit from the left side, it's really hard to tell just how healed they are. And now with Devin Travis being injured today and not knowing how long he's going to need to heal, they're going to have to make a decision very soon on Reyes, whether he's going to be good to play Tuesday or maybe need a stint on the DL. Buck?
Barry, you're right about that, and certainly they won't really know the extent of the Travis injury because he's going to be even sore tomorrow. Then they have the off day, of course, tomorrow and play the Orioles on Tuesday night.
They might have to go and get that thing x-rayed if it is the rib area on that pitch, just to see if he cracked a rib on that fastball. We'll see.
Edwin Encarnacion, 9 for 47. Fouls this ball back. Blue Jays aren't really hitting on all cylinders just yet. Both Bautista and Encarnacion hitting under 200.
You know what they're doing? They're hitting their share of home runs. And that's keeping them in ball games, and they're never out of games because of that ability to hit home runs. But you're right, they just are not hitting on all cylinders. They're not getting those continued at-bats where guys knock them in with base hits.
The trio of Donaldson, Bautista, and Encarnacion have 8 home runs. And that's exactly to your point. I mean, they don't need to get a lot of hits to win games.
As long as they're hitting the ball out of the ballpark, there's going to be times where they don't hit the ball out of the ballpark, and they're going to have to score runs with base hits. Tell you what, like Daniel Norris in the first inning where he couldn't get the ball down and it hurt him, Shelby Miller's dancing with fire right here.
He certainly is. He's thrown 18 pitches this inning, and everything is up right now. Watch Encarnacion. He says, "Ooh, that's a good one to hit."
He missed it the first time. He wanted to hit it the second time.
That's exactly the way you feel. Oh, I should have hit that first one.
And it was a good pitch to hit from Miller. A little two-seamer you can see on the inner half. There's another one.
Popped up over near the seats, and it'll be out of play.
Well, we have a minute. Let's take a look at the scouting report for young Shelby Miller. That fastball's a good one. 94. He can click it up to 95 when he needs to. He throws it almost 3 out of 4 pitches. He'll cut the fastball right there, and it's a hard one just to get it right off the barrel of the bat in a curveball. He's throwing more sinkers, more two-seamers this year to make the ball go a different way other than his cutter, and he's had success so far. He's had 5 innings in both of his starts, and the reason he's only thrown 5 innings, large pitch count.
Bouncing ball. Simmons will go to the bag. That's the first double play of the afternoon. Yesterday, the Braves turned 5 double plays. In the first inning. Yesterday, when Dickey threw 32 pitches in his first inning of work, he was able to pitch 7. First time Blue Jay starter has gone 7 innings, and Daniel Norris would like to follow suit.
He had a quick second inning yesterday. Or a 1-2-3, a strikeout, a fly out in a bunt. A very quick inning and got out of there. Catch his breath.
Chase Peterson, Anderson Simmons, and then the leadoff man Cameron Maiden. Collison at second base now. Collison took over as pinch runner at first for Devin Travis. As soon as we get an update on Travis, we'll pass it on. Peterson fouls it out of play, and Norris is ahead 1-2. Curveball bounced in the dirt, and Peterson wouldn't chase. It's a full count. Anderson Simmons, fine shortstop of the Braves, batting 9th in this American League game with the DH. Fly ball to center. Pompey gets underneath it and makes the catch. 1 out.
Jays on Sports. Presented by the 2015 Honda CR-V, Motor Trend's 2015 Sport Utility of the Year.
$34,000 on hand yesterday. It'll be a bigger crowd here this afternoon as it is the Jose Bautista bobblehead day. 20,000 fans who made it here received that bobblehead. Good crowd.
Great crowd. Great crowd yesterday, especially with the basketball game down the street.
Simmons rips it into left field. A 1-out single.
Well, what a series Andrelton Simmons has been putting together against the Blue Jays. He's made some highlight reel plays. He's gotten his share of hits. This time, this little cut fastball stays in the middle. And 1-0 count, he was all over that one.
Simmons had a pair of hits in the series opener on Friday night. He scored 2 runs and drove into. Had a 2-run double in the 5th. Cameron Maiden had a base hit to right his first time up. Drops down a bunt. Norris fields it. Throws to first to throw out Maiden. We mentioned the Blue Jays starters. They're all great athletes. They can feel their position, and Norris got off the mound in good shape and made a good play to retire Maiden.
That's a little strange when you see a right-handed hitter facing a left-handed pitcher dropping down the bunt. Well, a lot of times when you finally get that lefty, and there's not a lot of them, you want to go up there wailing. But Maben elects to try and get on via the bunt.
I agree with you 100%.
Yeah.
Norris threw 33 pitches in the first, obviously still battling his command, and you give him an out.
Well, you finally get that left-hander whose breaking ball's coming into you. Swing away.
And I know that Maben was bunting for a base hit, but Norris had to be thrilled when he saw him square around. Alberto Callaspo. Boy, he chased that high pitch. We mentioned Callaspo after he struck out in the first inning was the toughest player in the big leagues to strike out. 11.20 plate appearances per strikeout. That's the best active ratio. Better than Yadier Molina, Dustin Pedroia, Albert Pujols, and of course Victor Martinez. You all know how tough he is to strike out. Callaspo in danger of striking out twice already. We mentioned Norris rebuilt his delivery once he signed a pro contract, and it took him a couple years to refine it, and that's what's really creating problems for him right now. His delivery and his release point.
Yeah, you can see him when he starts falling off the side of the mound like that. He gets underneath the ball and everything starts again leaking upstairs. Yeah, he will have to make the adjustments this afternoon.
Off the end of the bat, Kevin Pillar comes in a few steps, and Daniel Norris gives up a single but leaves a base runner. We'll head to the second. Blue Jays trail by 3.
And this little guy is a very, very popular item, and we told you about it all week to get here early, and fans definitely took that advice. They were lined up all the way to the aquarium this morning. I spoke to one fan who got one who said he was here at 8:45 in the morning. So for the next bobblehead day, if you missed out, you may want to get here very early. And Buck and Tappy, we do have an update on Devon Travis. We were told he left the game with a left rib contusion. So we'll have to see how that heals and whether or not he'll be good to go. But as he said, good timing with the day off tomorrow. Buck?
Thank you, Barry. And you got my bobblehead, right?
Yeah.
You got one. Okay, that's good. I'll make sure I get that.
I heard it. He said he's got one for you.
Well, we'll keep you up to date. And certainly you would imagine Devon Travis is going to have some sort of examination, whether it's an X-ray or MRI or something. Russell Martin leads things off for the Blue Jays. Russell Martin gunned down a base stealer, Cameron Maybin, into first. He has thrown out 7 base stealers so far. That's the most in the big leagues. That's the one beauty of being a catcher. You can help your team in so many different areas without doing a whole lot of damage with the bat.
Now you've caught before. Did you get more pleasure out of going 4 for 4 in a loss, or 0 for 4 and catching a shutout?
Well, first of all, I can't remember ever going 4 for 4.
Okay.
But absolutely catching the pitcher.
Yeah.
Getting the best out of the pitcher. I think Russell feels the same way. Most catchers do. When you can get behind that plate, you have a tendency to forget about a bad day at the plate as a hitter and focus on trying to get that pitcher through, especially with young pitchers like Norris and Sanchez.
Yeah, you have to forget about hitting. Your main job is catching and controlling the game.
Tom Hallion with an emphatic ball call as that breaking ball broke around the inside corner. Russell Martin with a 2-2 count. Mike Frostad is the assistant trainer, talking with R.A. Dickey. Martin strikes out. 1 out. Let's check in with Jamie Campbell. He's got an update for us. Jamie, that Tiger team, we always think of them as being a hit-first ball club, but right now they're getting pretty good pitching, and I think the pitching has been a big surprise for them in Detroit.
Shane Green.
Shane Green goes today, and he's 2-0 already. He's thrown 16 innings in his 2 stunts. Justin Smoke getting the start at first base. Little cutter on the outside corner.
Cutter's hard. 87 miles an hour. It's not designed to do anything except take the ball off the meat of the bat, the barrel of the bat, so the hitter can't square it up. It's a late breaker. That's the one thing that you notice with Miller. He's got that late break to that slider into that cutter.
There's a base hit into right field. Markakis over to cut it off. Justin Smoke with the single.
The championship-winning Honda CRF 450R for those who dare to ride red.
One out single for Smoke. He's at first for Kevin Pillar. Bounces the ball to third. Callaspo to second for 1. Back to first. Not in time. We mentioned the Braves turned 5 double plays in yesterday's game. They turned one to end the first and had a chance to end the second in the same fashion.
That would have been a pretty one, but Pillar just a little bit too quick down that line. Nice turn out at second base by Jace Peterson. Smoke can't get to him. And PR is right there.
The Blue Jays are waiting on their video room. The Blue Jays think that there wasn't contact at second, and they're going to wait on the video. Now Tom Howley and the home plate umpire says, let's speed it up. And they say, nope, we're not going to ask for the review. Take a look at the second baseman as Peterson is straddling the bag and didn't come close to touching it, looked like. So Pilar is at first now with 2 outs. Dalton Pompey misplayed a ball in the first inning. It went as a free run double for Johnny Gomes. He got crossed up. He took a step in, and then by the time he retreated, it was over his glove off the wall in center. Dalton hitting 182, but he has a pair of home runs and 6 RBIs.
Yeah, and probably the biggest at bat in yesterday's ballgame, beating out that infield grounder.
This is popped up behind shortstop. Simmons makes it easily. The inning is over. The Blue Jays get a single but leave a base runner. We've played 2 at Rogers Center, Atlanta, with an early lead.
On coming to more than one game. You pick the games and reserve seats that get you closer to the action. Starting from 10 games up to a full season, they'll find the best packages that suit your needs. Go to BlueJays.com to learn about all the great benefits of being a Blue Jays ticket package holder. Buck?
Thank you very much, Barry. And there's certainly a lot of season ticket holders here today, as it is a full house on Jose Bautista Bobblehead Day. Nick Markakis continues to get on base. The Blue Jays have retired Markakis just once in the 3-game series. That was in the 9th inning when he flied out to left.
And that was almost a base hit. Remember that? He scalded that ball to left field and Pilar ran it down. That's why that on-base percentage is .489. Kevin Seitzer doing some in-between innings work. Cameron Maben.
You think that was related to that bunt attempt in the second?
Yeah, you got a guy on. There you go. Get the bat head out, he's saying. Now, you were talking about the pitcher struggling in the first inning with 30 pitches and everything. I think that's a direct reflection of Kevin Seitzer, who has made it his mantra to go out there and really work the pitcher.
Norris knocks it down. He stays on it and retires Markakis for just the 2nd time in this 3-game series. Yeah, you had him on the ropes, and you don't want to let him off the hook. Here's that comebacker off the glove of Norris.
Just off his glove, but he rebounds and makes a nice play. Yeah, you have him on the hooks. Don't give it up. Swing away.
Markakis is not used to sitting on the bench.
Yeah, he's not used to taking a right-hand turn down there at first base. Neither is this guy. Freddie Freeman has had a big series. In fact, 4 of his last 6 hits have been home runs.
Freeman doubled to left field his first time up. He scored the second run in that 3-run first inning. Again, this is a reflection of the first inning where Norris was all over the place and Tom Hyan is really focused on that strike zone. And you mentioned it. You throw pitches all over the place. You're not going to get borderline calls.
Yeah, borderline calls, if you don't show that you can throw it there, he's not going to get it. You could hear Tom say ball in. That's 3 pitches within pitch tracks that says that Norris is getting closer.
Freddie Freeman issued the second walk given by Norris. (3-1, 3-0) Atlanta as they scored 3 runs in the first inning. Johnson walked in the first and scored from first base on Johnny Gomes' 2-out double. Gomes cleared the bases with that double over Dalton Pompey into center. There's a base hit into center field. Pompey comes in and Freddie Freeman's going to challenge him and he's going to make it. And that ball bounces around and now he's going to score. Norris can't pick it up yet. Boy, Freddie Freeman never hesitated, and he caught young Dalton Pompey flat-footed. And then when Pompey looked up, he hurried his throw and airmailed the third baseman.
Well, I think the Braves know more about this field than the Blue Jays. They have already made great plays in this field, knowing how slow it is. They know they can go first to third on a base hit. That ball was hit really hard by Chris Johnson. Freddie Freeman didn't even slow down one bit. Right back through the middle by Johnson. Pompey, here he comes. He realizes, and now he airmails it. Now, the problem with this is it allowed the runner to score, and then when Norris couldn't pick the ball up, Johnson's over at third base. So the infield has to come in.
The infield is in for Johnny Gomes, who already has 3 RBIs this afternoon.
Watch Freddie Freeman. He knows that is slow turf, and he's not the fastest guy in the world, but he is just good at a challenge. Dalton Pompey in center field, and he would have made it even with a good throw. But this ball's bouncing around all over the place. So Johnson ends up at third base. The infield has to come in on the E9.
First error of the season for Dalton Pompey. You can see Johnny Gomes' reaction to that strike call. He thought it was up and away. Marco Estrada is loosening up. He was up last inning. He's up again now. 3-1. Young pitchers are going to have ups and downs. Johnny Gomes lifts it high in the air. Tagging at third is Chris Johnson. Pilar sets up underneath it, and here's the throw to the plate, and it's offline. Russell Martin took a swipe at it, and it went off of his glove. He had the right idea. The throw was offline to the outside of home plate, and thought had he made a catch and swiped Johnson, he had a shot. had tagging him out.
Yeah, if the ball could have stuck in the glove just a little bit, it was tailing on him. You can see this play from this angle right here. Here comes the throw. It's coming right over the shoulder. And if he had caught the ball, there might have been a chance to get him at the plate. I mean, it's got to be boom, boom. You got to catch it and dump down. But that ball was tailing on him too much, and Johnson scores the run. 5-0, and Daniel Norris looks like his afternoon is finished.
Daniel Norris, a few words from the skipper saying there will be better days, and in all reality, Norris is undermined by a misplayed ball in the first inning that could have kept him in this ball game, but Marco Estrada is in. Leaves after 2 2/3, and Dalton Pompey, he's had a rough start to his day as well. Had a ball sail over his head for a 3-run double. And then Freddie Freeman went first to third and forced Pompey into his first error of the season. Now Marco Estrada will come on to try to close out this inning.
And this is why I think you saw the Blue Jays make a roster move today, setting Colt Hines down and bring up Jeff Francis for a little bit more depth in that bullpen, just in case the youngster got knocked out early. He did. Now Marco's the first one out. Estrada was outstanding in his last time to the mound. 3 innings for the Blue Jays.
It's against Tampa Bay. Gets ahead of Christian Bethancourt, the catcher. Estrada in that 3-inning outing allowed just 2 hits, didn't walk a batter, struck out 3. And he established himself in the Blue Jays clubhouse when he plunked Evan Longoria.
His former teammate.
Estrada is in really a tough situation. He's a starter, worked out of the pen second half of last year, but now he's the Blue Jays long man. And he really has to put in extra time to stay sharp. Good job by Marco as he comes out of the bullpen to strike out Bethancourt to end the inning, but the Braves scored 2 more. They've taken a 5-0 lead.
tribute to the Canadian Forces. And today we salute Private Alex Edwards of the 48th Highlanders. He was recognized due to his courageous act assisting a civilian woman in the Toronto subway, which saved her life. Private Edwards and 2 other CAF members were on the train when a distressed passenger was attempting to lower herself onto the tracks. Private Edwards and the others assisted her back onto the platform. So today we salute Private Alex Edwards. Buck.
Congratulations to Private Edwards, and that Sunday salute, always a great tribute here at home on Sunday afternoons. Good job, Barry. It's 5-0. Blue Jays came back from a 4-0 deficit in yesterday's game. And they're in tough against a tough right-hander, Shelby Miller.
They were in tough yesterday against a tough left-hander.
Alex Wood was dealing.
6 shutout inning. Blue Jays finally got him in the 7th.
This is Ryan Goins, the shortstop. Goins 1 for 7 since being recalled from AAA Buffalo. He's got a walk and 3 strikeouts. He singled on the first pitch he saw this season when Reyes had to leave the game.
That's the best time to come in, right? When you take over for a guy, you're not thinking, you see the pitch and you just swing away. You're nice and relaxed, kind of like Jose Reyes is right now.
Yeah, Reyes was out, and as we saw earlier, he was working hard, trying to get healthy again, get back in the lineup, hopefully by Tuesday. 2 balls, 2 strikes to Brian Goins, leading off the 3rd for the Blue Jays. He bounces this one past the mound. Cayaspo can't make a play. An infield single for Ryan Goins, and let's check in with Jamie Kemper. Ramirez now has 12 RBIs and 5 home runs. He's off to a great start.
I think that's going to be a nice fit. Baltimore scored 2 in the 1st and now 3 in the bottom of the 1st by Boston.
Miguel Gonzalez on the hill for the Orioles. Porcello for the Red Sox. Steve Tollefson getting his first at bat of the afternoon. He took over for Devin Travis as Travis had to leave in the 1st inning. After being hit by a pitch, Travis was at first base, dove back into the bag, and just had to yield to the pain of that left side. We have not been given a further update since we initially heard that he left with a contusion on the left ribcage.
I'll tell you, that 2-seam sinker right there is tough on the right-handers. Edwin Encarnacion's already fouled the ball off of his foot, and now Steve Tollefson gets the same treatment. You turn that ball over just a little bit. You change your grip on the seams and make that ball sink just a little bit. Tough to keep it fair, let alone off your foot.
Pulled. Cayaspo dives, goes to second for 1. They'll have no chance to turn 2. 1 down. Josh Donaldson has hit 3 home runs in this series, and it's really interesting where he's hit them.
Well, watch this. This one is to right field. And when you talk about a guy having power, he's got power to all fields. The first one to right field, this one he drives out into center field right over the 400-foot sign, and then for good measure to left field. So he's got power to right, center, and left in this ballpark. I think Josh Donaldson's going to have a big year. He hit 29 last year, playing half of his games in Oakland.
Bouncing ball up the middle. Simmons to Peterson, back to first. Yet another double play. Second double play turned by the Braves, and Shelby Miller closes out the Jays in the 3rd.
Ball. Listen to live audio, follow games pitch by pitch, and enjoy in-game video highlights. The app is available on the iPhone, iPad, iPod Touch, Android, and BlackBerry. Season-long subscription packages are available. Visit BlueJays.com for more details. And having a look at the app today, the Detroit Tigers offense is alive and well after their tough loss yesterday, already leading the White Sox 5-0. Buck?
Thank you very much, Barry. The Braves are up 5-0 on the Blue Jays here as we move to the fourth inning. Marco Estrada came in the ball game and struck out Christian Bethancourt to end the third inning. Daniel Norris goes 2 2/3 this afternoon. Marco Estrada played in the National League, so there are a lot of Braves that know Estrada. For Peterson, he is a rookie, so he hasn't faced him in the past.
Peterson's going to be a good player.
Looks like it, doesn't it?
Yeah, he was voted their 9th best prospect. He's a great athlete. And that time Marco gets him. That's experience right there. Don't show him that good changeup until you get 2 strikes. And then finish off a young player. He's got one of the best changeups in baseball. You can see him roll it right off those 2 middle fingers. And has Peterson way out in front.
Estrada has struck out both batters to face him here. Now the number 9 hitter, Andrelton Simmons. Simmons singled to left field. His first time up. Look out. That's that breaking ball. You can see Estrada shaking his head, trying to overcook that slider. Simmons is 2 for 6. Check that against Estrada. Simmons is 3 for 4. 750 average. Boy, I like that call by Russell Martin. He threw one breaking ball, it slipped out of his hands, and it's really fresh in Estrada's mind what he did.
Came
right back with it and got a good one.
Right back with that breaking ball, and he threw a great one down and away. And now pulled the string on that changeup. His arm action on the changeup is so good. And he tucks it back into those fingers, right into the palm of his hand, and then you throw it as hard as you can. What that does is it makes your fastball that's 91 or 92 look about 96 or 97.
He moves that fastball around. It's pretty straight, but because he can locate it so effectively, it serves him well.
Marco was a little bit behind the rest of the pitchers in spring training. He got injured down in Dunedin.
Sprained his ankle. Wasn't arm related by any means, but it knocked him out of service for a while, and he was trailing the rest of the pitchers. Marco's now 31 years old. He was born in Sonora, Mexico, but grew up in Southern California. Just missed that outside corner. It's a full count. Leadoff man is on deck, Cameron Maybin. Went right back to the same spot and gets the foul ball. We mentioned Simmons was the Platinum Glove winner in 2013 in the National League. That honors the best defensive player at any position. He's just simply the best player in 2013 defensively.
In the National League, his WAR, and they have WAR for defense. Wins above replacement is the best in the major leagues also at 3.89. So that just says he's pretty good.
The championship-winning Honda CRF 450R for those who dare to ride red.
Jose Bautista bobblehead. Tracking a Bautista fan. And did a good job with that bobblehead. That is, of course, Bautista as he celebrates a home run when he gets back to the dugout. Last night in Kansas City, the Orioles players received their gold gloves, and Alex Gordon received the platinum glove for his defense in the American League. He was honored as the best defensive player in the American League this year.
Is that 4 straight gold gloves for Alex Gordon? He started as a third baseman.
Kansas City with 3 gold glove winners in back-to-back seasons, and they have really put an emphasis on defense there. Up the middle. Collison flips to Goins, and Maben outruns the return throw to first. Collison and Goins did a pretty good job, as Collison had to get right behind the bag and flip back across his body, and just didn't develop.
That would have been pretty if they would have been able to turn that one. That ball right up the middle, but there was Tollison, his play, and you can see how Goins has to catch the ball facing left center field and then turn all the way around and try and get something on that ball. And then try and get a fast runner in Cameron Maben. No chance, but nice play up the middle. Some more delay as the Blue Jays take a look at that one, but that was pretty clear cut.
Yeah, I thought he was across the bag in plenty of time. Jeff Francis, we mentioned Francis has just joined the Blue Jays. He was called up from AAA Buffalo. He made 1 start down in Buffalo and threw the ball well. Maben has a big lead, not running. Francis pitched 5 innings, allowed 2 hits, walked 2, and struck out 5 in his only start in AAA.
Bigger lead for Maben over at first.
Still not running. To finish up the discussion about the platinum gloves, there have only been platinum gloves awarded for 4 seasons. It started in 2011. Yadier Molina has 3 platinum gloves.
As the finest defender in the National League. So the only guy who's broken a streak is this guy here in Atlanta, Simmons.
In 2013. In the American League, Alex Gordon, we told you he won in 2014. Manny Machado won in 13, and Adrian Beltre won 2, the first 2 as third baseman. Beltre won in 11 and 12. Alberto Callaspo playing on his birthday. Loops it into center field. Pompey is there. The inning is over. Blue Jays, as we head to the bottom of the 4th, Jose Bautista hit a 2-run home run in the 8th to give the Blue Jays the lead. His 3rd of the season. He'll start things off when we come back.
Jays on Sports. Presented by the 2015 Honda CR-V, Motor Trend's 2015 Sport Utility of the Year.
The Jose Bautista bobblehead has wandered outside of Rogers Center. Better get back in here at the plate.
You're hitting.
Jose Bautista, Edwin Encarnacion, and Russell Martin for the Blue Jays against Shelby Miller. Bautista walked his first time up. He has 10 walks already this season.
Well, if they're going to pitch to him, he's going to have to do something big on his bobblehead day.
Blue Jays need some base runners, and Bautista understands that. Trying to get aboard. Bautista has 6 hits for the season. He has a double and 3 home runs.
Again, when they pitch to him.
Yeah.
And he's starting to take his walks. When you see him start to take those borderline pitches in the hitting position, where the bat is back and he hasn't really committed, then you know he's ready to go.
Mentioned the 3 home runs for Bautista, contributing to those 16, and Orioles and the Yankees both have hit 17. Bautista out in front, one hands it to left, but that's going to hang up for Johnny Gomes in left field. Jose was a little out in front of that pitch.
Shelby Miller's got a good breaking ball. Everything is firm, and his curveball's got some bite to it. It's a good pickup for the Atlanta Braves.
Well, they gave up a good player in Jason Hayward, who went to St. Louis. And of course, St. Louis had the tragedy of losing their young outfitter, Oscar Taveras, to an automobile accident. And it was a good fit for the Cardinals to get Jason Hayward.
They needed a good outfielder, a right fielder. Hayward's a Gold Glover. They had to give up something to get him.
Well, once again, it just speaks to the importance of a deep farm system. The Cardinals have one of the best farm systems and have forever. So they can give up a 24-year-old starter like Shelby Miller because they have a lot of depth.
Yeah, they've got Carlos Martinez coming up. That's another youngster. They just seem to just bring every year young arms out of that farm system.
Encarnacion chaps it to first, and Chris Johnson steps on the bag. 2 quick outs here in the 4th.
So if you have a hole somewhere else in your team, you can trade some of that young pitching. Teams are always going to want young pitching. And if you have room for it, or if you don't have room and replacement, you can trade them and you can get just about anybody you want, because teams are always looking for good young arms.
You mentioned Carlos Martinez. He pitched yesterday and picked up the win. He's 23. So you give up a 23-year-old pitcher and you replace him with you give up a 24-year-old Shelby Miller, and you got another one standing ready to take over.
Then you got Michael Wacha. He was just drafted a couple of years ago. That's how the Cardinals are so good year in and year out.
Russell Martin. Ball on the strike on the Blue Jays catcher. This looks an awful lot like yesterday's game, where it started out with Alex Wood on the mound. Blue Jays couldn't get anything going at all. They were trailing 4-0, headed to the bottom of the 7th.
Kept hitting into double plays. They'd get the runners on against Alex Wood. They just kept hitting into double plays.
They hit into 4 double plays in the first 4 innings. First 5 innings, they had the only inning in which they didn't hit into a double play was the second. The double play ended the 1st, 3rd, 4th, and 5th.
And they're doing it again today, unfortunately. 1st and 3rd. Couple more double plays.
2 balls and 2 strikes, 2 outs. We're in the 4th. Upstairs, full count. Justin Smoke singled his first time up. He'll be next if Russell Martin can reach base. Martin strikes out for his second time, the only 2 strikeouts for Miller. That ends the 4th. We'll head to the 5th. Now it's time for a Blue Jays Central update. Here's Jamie Campbell and Greg Zahn.
Catch all the action live today at 4 o'clock Eastern, 1 o'clock Pacific on Sportsnet 1. Buck?
Thank you, Barry. New pitcher in the ballgame for the Blue Jays will be the Canadian Jeff Francis. As Francis will pitch in the big leagues for the first time since July 26th last year. Actually, his last appearance came against the Blue Jays. He worked in relief. And now he will pitch for the Blue Jays. Becomes the 3rd Canadian-born player on this 25-man roster for the Blue Jays.
Almost made the team out of spring training for the Blue Jays. Had a pretty decent spring, but was sent down to Buffalo. Made 1 start, and it was a dandy. 5 innings and just 2 hits given up down in the minor leagues. He's got some depth to him, so he is stretched out and he can go multiple innings this afternoon.
Of course, Francis has been a starter throughout his career. Last year he pitched in Cincinnati, Oakland, and with the New York Yankees. Made 1 start with Cincinnati last season. And this is the first opportunity to see him. He threw the ball well, as Pat mentioned, all spring long, and it just was a matter of the fact that Colt Hines had a real good spring. Didn't walk a bat. Back-to-back lefties to start the inning for Francis, so it's a good opportunity to get him into the mix.
Well, Jeff can pitch out of the bullpen. I think his curveball really works out of the bullpen. And because he's got that starting history and he's stretched out, we might even see him at some point make some starts.
That ball is going to be foul, and Justin Smoke let it roll just in case it might kick back to fair territory. Markakis needs a new bat and get rid of that other one. That other one had too many hits in it. I'll be happy to see Markakis with a new piece of lumber.
He finally retired him his last time up. Little comebacker back to the mound. Does such a good job of spraying the ball all over the ballpark.
Goins is going to make a terrific play. Markakis making another bid for a base hit. Ryan Goins never really could turn and run full speed. Just shuffled back quickly and reached over his shoulder to make a fine catch.
Remember, that ball is slicing with the left-hander over his shoulder. It's a fastball, and that ball slicing. Watch him go back and then have to reach up over his head and haul it in. Great play.
Another red star in the scorebook for the Blue Jays defense as Ryan Goins records the first out of the fifth. The late Jerry Coleman, who broadcast for so many years for the Padres, used to say, put a star on that play.
We've had stars all over our scorebook so far this year. Everybody getting into the act.
Freddie Freeman has been aboard twice, and an opposite field double and a walk. He scored a pair of runs. Goins knocks it down, fires across, not in time. Ryan Goins knocked it down. By the time he picked it up, it was too late.
Well, that would have been another one right there. If he came up with that one, and they've got the shift on Freddie Freeman, one hopper to left field, and he dives, can't come up with it. If he comes up with it cleanly, he has a chance. But what an effort. Right off the heel of his glove, it's right there. He tries to come back and make the play. Just barely misses him at first.
Freddie Freeman on base 3 times this afternoon.
He's going to be sorry to leave this place.
Yeah, he's going to want to stay over and play on the off day. Chris Johnson hits it high in the air to right. 2 down. Jeff Francis will face Johnny Gomes with Freeman at first and 2 outs. Johnny Gomes has had a 4 RBI day already. Had a 3-run double in the first and a sac fly in the third. Two and 0. Francis, he understands what he is now. At one time, he had a good hard fastball. He's starting for Colorado in his prime, but he knows now he's got to make good pitches and change speeds.
Yeah, he's been around a long time. 2-0. He throws a changeup to a good fastball hitter in Gomes, and throws another changeup. Doubles up with it. He's got a good delivery. Quick to home. Good breaking ball, but you're right. Right now, pitching out of the bullpen, and they need some innings from him this afternoon.
Right on the corner. Again, another perfect pitch. Full count, 2 outs. Justin Smoke at first will back up behind Freddie Freeman. Christian Bethancourt, the catcher, will bat if Gomes can keep the inning alive. With the strikeout. Good first inning for Jeff Francis. He gives up an infield single and picks up a strikeout.
zone, and in there are guests of TD. Meanwhile, over in the Jays Care Community Clubhouse are folks from the Ontario Baseball Association. Have a good time, boys.
Welcome to the ballpark, and right now you want to see the Blue Jays rally. They've managed just 2 hits against Shelby Miller. Last time Miller pitched in this ballpark last June 7th, he shut them out on just 3 hits and 9-inning complete game shutout.
That started the Blue Jays on a slide, didn't it?
Sure did.
We were in first place then.
Matched up against Mark Burley, and then Jaime Garcia would close things out the next day on Sunday as the Cardinals took 2-3.
Jays, I believe, if I can remember, the first week of June had something like a 6-game lead at that time in the American League East, and then Miller and the Cardinals came to town and put them in a slump.
Blue Jays were off to a slow start in April a year ago, but then really caught fire in May. 0-2 off the plate outside. The appeal down to third base. Bruce Dreckman says no swing. So it's now an even count at 2-2. Tom Hallian with that trademark strike 3 call. Brings up Justin Smoke. One of the umpires always say, "Don't show me up."
As a hitter, you're walking back saying, like, you had to do that to me. Okay, that's
Call
the first
all
one.
the attention on that strike 3. He's been doing it for years. Good umpire.
Very good umpire. I love those umpires behind the plate that are very animated like that.
You didn't like it when they called strike 3 on you, though.
No, but
It's good to watch from the bench.
That was so long ago. No one really get Dutch Leonard comes to mind, or Dutch Renner comes to mind. Tom Hallian now has taken over that. Only on strike 3, though.
There used to be a lot more colorful umpires when they would go through those different strike 3 calls. I can't remember his name, but there was a National League umpire that used to turn and go sideways and point a finger when he called strikes.
I think that was Dutch.
Was that Dutch Renner?
Yeah. Strike 1.
That's right. It was Dutch Renner. Pilar strikes out. That's 4 strikeouts. 3 in a row now for Shelby Miller. Blue Jays, they were shut out until the 7th inning in yesterday's game, and they can score runs, and they scored a bunch late yesterday. 68 runs. It's the most in the American League, ahead of Oakland and Kansas City. Dalton Pompey slaps at the left field. That's the 3rd Blue Jay hit of the afternoon, 2-out single.
Yeah, those runs scored also are against some very tough pitching. We mentioned how all the tough pitchers that the Jays have run into in some of the tough games. One game in the Ubaldo Jimenez start, Jake Odorizzi, I think they have 1 run. They still lead the American League in run score.
Good pitching was on display yesterday in the American League. Masahiro Tanaka, 7 strong innings against Tampa Bay. Same for King Felix. Felix Hernandez of the Mariners had 12 strikeouts against Texas. It was his first win against the Rangers in his last 9 starts. When I looked at his career record against Texas, I couldn't believe it. He is 13-21 for his career against Texas. That's King Felix.
King Felix from Seattle.
Yeah.
The same guy.
We better check and see what they do to hit him. 0-2 to Ryan Goins. Goins had an infield hit his first time up. That hit led off the third, but the Blue Jays grounded into a double play to end that inning. You saw Goins in the spring. He had a good spring. Hit 350 for the spring. What do you see differently in Goins this year as opposed to last?
I think he's more aggressive this year. I don't think he's trying to feel for the ball. I think he's going up there getting 3 pitches to hit, 3 strikes to work with, and he's being a little bit more aggressive. Doesn't have to hit 320 to stay in the lineup. Just make good contact and have good at bats.
Shelly Miller strikes out the side. The Blue Jays strand a base runner. We'll head to the 6th. It's 5-0 Braves, and here comes the Home Hardware cleanup crew, brought to you by Natura, Home Hardware's exclusive line of safe, environmentally friendly cleaning products. Thank you very much, Jamie. Doing a good job of keeping us up to speed on the Stanley Cup playoffs. Ongoing. Jeff Francis. Francis struck out Johnny Gomes to end the 5th. His first inning this season. The catcher Christian Bethancourt. This is his first game of the series. A.J. Pierzynski is behind the plate, and Freddie Gonzalez wanted to use Pierzynski against R.A. Dickey, and it paid off for him. Pierzynski homered against Dickey in the 4th inning of yesterday's game. A.J. also had an RBI single on Friday night.
And get Bethancourt. He's their catcher of the future, easily. He is their #1 rated defensive catcher in the minor leagues. He's a young player. Right now he's struggling a little bit with the bat.
Daniel Norris started this ball game and went 2 2/3. He was charged with 5 runs, 4 earned runs on 6 hits. Walked a couple and struck out one. He threw 66 pitches and 33 pitches in the first. Really set a poor tone for his start.
And defensively, he didn't get a lot of help. The 5 runs scored off of Daniel with some miscues by the Blue Jays. Should have got out of the first inning. You mentioned the big first inning. It was a long first inning. They had the play in center field where Dalton Pompey got turned around and missed the ball. He catches that. There's a 0 he puts up. And then the throw to third base that overthrew the third baseman from Dalton's was a run. Cost him a run and a sacrifice fly.
Jace Peterson strikes out. That's 3 strikeouts in a row for Jeff Francis. This copyrighted telecast is presented by authority of Rogers Blue Jays Baseball Partnership and may not be reproduced or retransmitted in any form. And the accounts and descriptions of this game may not be disseminated without the express written consent of Rogers Blue Jays Baseball Partnership. Big crowd on hand here at Rogers Center this afternoon. Anderson Simmons hits a one-hopper to short. Good inning for Jeff Francis. 3 up, 3 down. The Braves go quietly in their half the sixth. The Blue Jays looking to get something going. It'll be Tollison, Donaldson, and Bautista against Shelby Miller when we come back. Back at Rogers Center, next series on Tuesday night. You remember what happened last Sunday in Baltimore. Darren O'Day threw one behind Bautista's neck, and then Bautista goes deep and dances to first base. That gave the Blue Jays a big lead. They had a one-run lead at that point, made it 10-7, and it rivalry will renew itself on Tuesday night. It's interesting, the pitching matchups are identical to the pitching matchups they had in the first series in Baltimore.
And the Blue Jays won that series 2-1.
Bud Norris will open up against Mark Burley. Ubaldo Jimenez against Sanchez on Wednesday, and then Chris Tillman and Drew Hutchison will wrap up the series on Thursday. And the Blue Jays will leave town, go down to Tampa Bay to take on the Rays for a 3-game weekend set. Tollison shoots it down the right side, but it's foul. There's a little tension in the AL East already. Boston and Baltimore, they've had a couple of bench clearing situations, and Blue Jays and Orioles, they're always going toe-to-toe. Tollison off the end of the bat. Nice play by Miller. Take a look at the schedule ahead for the Blue Jays. As we mentioned, the Orioles will wrap up this 10-game homestand Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday. Then Friday, Saturday, Sunday, the Blue Jays are in St. Petersburg to take on the Rays. Then they'll go into Boston for the first time this season, play the Red Sox, and they'll wrap that trip up with a 4-game series in Cleveland.
In Cleveland, yeah, get to go down, get the Rays, and then Boston. They're playing some pretty good baseball, and then finish up against the Tribe. I think we'll see Danny Salazar in that game against Cleveland.
Danny Salazar is in their rotation now, as the Indians have gotten some pretty good starts from their younger pitchers. Trevor Bauer, Carlos Carrasco, and Danny Salazar had special starts to their season. Each of them in their first season start of the year had double-digit strikeouts and picked up a win.
A lot of strikeouts, and we're not even talking about Corey Kluber, the Cy Young Award winner. So running into some more tough pitching.
The Indians are the first team in modern history, and remember, modern history started 1900 in baseball. It's the first team to have 3 starters make their first start of a season, record 10 strikeouts or more, and pick up a win. Pretty good start.
That's pretty good. They're all young. And they're all pretty good.
Josh Donaldson with a 2-2 count. Upstairs. Donaldson knew it. Shelby Miller locating that pitch down and away. It's his 6th strikeout of the afternoon.
Took a little something off of this one. That's a little cutter. It's 86 miles an hour. Really messed up the timing with Josh. You can see that spin and the rotation. Bethencourt does a good job behind that plate. I really like him defensively, holding it right there for the umpire.
Up and in, and Bautista had to bail out. Bautista's had a knack for getting these pitches and utilizing them to his favor. We saw that Darren O'Day pitch in Baltimore last Sunday that sailed behind his back, and then later in the at-bat he took O'Day deep.
Yeah, he almost takes it personal when you come up and in like that. Miller has to do that. He wants to get him out away. That first pitch, just back him off the plate a little bit. Remember his last at bat, he threw him a breaking ball down and away, and Jose was out in front of it. Flew out to left field.
3-0 to Bautista. Encarnacion waits on deck. Right on the corner. Miller has been on that outside corner to right-handers all afternoon, and Tom Hallion, the umpire, has had a good look at it. Going there again. Ball 4. Bautista's second walk. He has walked both times. The only 2 walks that Miller has issued. Bautista flied out in the 4th and walked twice. So this is the beauty of the Blue Jays lineup. They can strike anywhere in their lineup, and they can erase deficits. Lots of home runs in their lineup, as we mentioned, whether it's Encarnacion, Martin, Smoke, Pilar, Pompey. Everybody can go deep.
Well, when you hit as many home runs as the Blue Jays do, you get a couple of guys on. You start missing your spots, and they can hurt you and get you right back into a game.
Bethencourt just a leisurely walk to the mound, probably to remind Miller, hey, let's not throw him too good a pitch on this first pitch after the walk. And they did.
Breaking ball off the dish.
Line to left. That's going to get down in front of Johnny Gomes. Encarnacion with a single.
And here comes Russ Martin. I love Edward Encarnacion because he's got plate coverage. You mentioned it, how Miller is keeping that fastball away. Well, here's another one away, but he's got plate coverage, and he can actually yank that ball to left field for a base hit. He couldn't extend, couldn't get the full swing into it because of where it was, down and away, but he's got the plate coverage to single into left field. 2 outs. Nobody on. How many times have we seen Bautista? They get very careful with him. They walk him. Encarnacion gets aboard, and just like that, pop one out of here, and the Blue Jays are back in this game.
Russell Martin drove in the first Blue Jays run in that 7th inning rally. They scored 3 runs in the 7th to make it a 4-3 Braves lead. And he falls behind quickly. 0-2. Martin, he knows all about Shelby Miller. These two faced each other in the National League. Miller has allowed Martin a couple of home runs coming into this game. Russell Martin 5 for 16 against Miller, but today he struck out twice. They have pitched him away very effectively.
And you can't play him straight away any more than the Atlanta Braves. They are straight away, everybody, for Martin. Look at that. No shifts, no overshifts, nothing. Center fielder thinks he's going to hit the ball to right center, but that's it.
Deep drive to right. Ball is on the way and bounces off the wall. 2 runs are going to score. Bautista's in right behind him, Encarnacion, and Russell Martin with another big hit. They can strike anywhere in their lineup.
You know, he's starting to swing a hotter bat because he's hitting the ball to right field. He's staying on it just a little bit more. 2-strike pitch here, and he stays behind that. He didn't go out there to get it. He stayed behind it, let it travel just a little bit more. Now he can get everything into it. Earlier this week, he came out here with Brooke Jacoby, the hitting coach, and they did a drill where they threw the ball from the first base side. Now watch where these balls are. They're deep. And the whole idea was to get the ball deeper into the strike zone. You throw the ball right at your back hip, and Martin has to let that ball get back there to shoot that ball to right field. His home runs have come to right center and to right field, and now this big double right here with 2 outs comes to right center.
Russell Martin has 5 hits now. He's driven in 8 runs. I don't care what a catcher does for an average. I want him to produce.
All of his hits have been to right field, too. 2-run single by Tanaka. The big hit that started it yesterday was to right field, and now is double up the gap in right field.
Justin Smoke has a single. He's 1 for 2 so far. Miller using that cutter. I'll tell you what, I think pitchers in general in baseball are using the cutter way too much. It becomes a mediocre fastball.
Not on your first pitch of it at bat. It's more of a pitch. 2-0, 3-1. Fastball counts.
Snap throw, bounced in the dirt. Simmons does a nice job to keep the ball in front of him.
Told you Bethancourt will throw it around. Try to pick off in the first inning, and now set play right here. If you're there, I'm going to throw it to you. Simmons tries to sneak in behind Martin.
2-0, 2 outs. Blue Jays rally, showed up an inning early today. Yesterday they scored 3 in the 7th. Three and 0. They got a base open. They might just pitch right around Smoke. Andrew McKirahan loosening up for the Braves. He's one of 2 left-handers they have in their bullpen. Didn't want anything to do with Justin Smoke.
The championship-winning Honda CRF 450R for those who dare to ride red.
Kevin Pillar steps in with 2 on and 2 outs. Pillar get into a fielder's choice and has struck out, and this is his 3rd at bat against Miller. He's got to be looking for something away.
And they go away. Pay attention how he has been pitching these right-handers. He got the first 2 outs quickly and then was very careful with Jose Bautista, and he's got himself into trouble. Jose walks, single by Encarnacion, double, and another walk.
Popped up to left. Johnny Gomes over, and the inning is over, but the Blue Jays get to Shelby Miller here in the 6th. They score a pair of runs with 2 outs. In with Barry Davis.
Thanks, Buck. And you know, ball players, like any other athlete, are usually judged by the performance on the field, success or failures. But look at Brett Cecil taking the time to spend with 9-year-old Nerjos, who's going in for surgery tomorrow. He has intractable epilepsy. His mother tells me he has between 20 and 30 seizures a day. He's a huge baseball fan, and Brett Cecil took about 20 minutes of his time during batting practice to just sit and talk to him about baseball. And it's a really nice story, and it was great of Brett to spend that time with him. And we wish Nerjos all the luck tomorrow and all the best for his surgery and all the best to his family as well. Buck?
Absolutely, Barry, and it's just so important. These ball players can do so much with some of their time, and good for Brett Cecil to spend some time with that young man. Take his mind off what's about to happen. I want to wish him the best. Top of the order for the Braves, and Francis misses with the pitch. It's 2 balls and a strike to Cameron Maybin. Francis in his 3rd inning of relief. He has recorded 3 strikeouts so far.
This isn't a problem for him. The length. He was stretched out in spring training. His first start down in AAA was for 5 innings, so he's not going to get tired.
Devin Travis came into this ball game with a 7-game hit streak. He was hit by a pitch in his first at bat, and he would go to first base and got hit just on the left side. He had to be removed after this play here. When he dove back in, it aggravated him even further, and he had to leave the ball game in favor of the pinch runner. The Blue Jays have told us now that Travis has been x-rayed. There is no fracture, and Smoke's going to dive and win a play. Double play. Justin Smoke took that ball cued off the end of the bat. As soon as it touched his glove, he turned and reached for the base runner, Cameron Maybin, and doubles him up.
I'll tell you, he is a good fielding first baseman. I think if he went after Maybin, he might have missed him. But watch this ball off the end of the bat. He goes to the bag. He knows the runner's going to come to the bag. So let me go down to the bag, put the tag on him, block him off of first base, and finish off the double play.
Boy, you could see he looked over his right shoulder to see where the base runner was, and then turned and slid to the base and beat Maybin back. He tagged Maybin just as he was reaching for that base. Well, that's a big double play to erase that leadoff walk in the 7th. Donaldson has it go off of his glove, as who else? Nick Markakis is on base again.
Another multi-hit game for Markakis. He had one the first night here when he had 4 base hits. Lefties, righties, it doesn't matter.
Markakis has a 5-game hit streak. He has 2 hits this afternoon. Now he has 10 hits in his last 5 games. That's a hit streak. This is Freddie Freeman. Freeman has faced lefty pitching all afternoon. He has 2 hits to the left side of the infield. He has a double to left and an infield single to the hole at short.
And that's odd for him because he came into the series without a base hit to left field the whole season. But against left-handers, left-handed batters will really stay in there, keep that front shoulder in there, and now his hits are starting to go the other way.
He just looks like he's going to get a hit. That's just a great stance, very balanced, and you can see he chokes up about an inch on the barrel of the bat. Very athletic position. It's this ball deep to center field. Pompey on the run, on the track in front of the wall, makes the catch. Freeman gave it a ride. Pompey runs it down. Francis puts up a 0. 3 good innings of relief.
to 35,000 fans on hand. Junior J Saturday, always presented by Boston Pizza, and your next chance is Saturday, May the 9th, as the Red Sox visit the Rogers Center, a 1:07 start. Special price tickets for kids in the 200 and 500 level outfield seats. And after the game, kids under 14 can run the bases just like the pros. If you want to be a part of it, go to BlueJays.com for tickets. Buck?
Thank you, Barry. Junior J Saturday, always very popular, as are bobblehead days. Today is the Jose Bautista bobblehead day. 44,794 on hand, and they see the new pitcher, Andrew McKirahan, coming into the game, making his third appearance.
Rule 5 player, so he has to be in the big leagues. The left-hander's got a good fastball with some running action. He'll throw his changeup to the right-handers, so Dalton Pompey can look for that.
Pompey bunts it right back to the mound, trying to start something here in the 7th, and bunts it right to the pitcher. McKirahan, as Pat mentioned, a Rule 5 player. He was originally drafted by the Cubs in 2011, late round draft, 21st round. And then the Marlins took him in a Rule 5 from the Cubs in December of 2014, and the Braves picked him up right before the start of the season, took him off the waiver wire April 1st.
Yeah, Marlins actually put him on waivers, and the Braves claimed him. Made his big league debut earlier last week. He's got a good arm. Fastball 92, 96, but who doesn't have a good fastball coming out of that bullpen anymore?
It's universal.
Yeah.
Ryan Goins is 1 for 2. 0-2 quickly, Goins behind. In case you're just joining us, Devin Travis started at second base, got hit by a pitch, and had to leave the ball game. He is out of the game. Tollison has been in the game ever since the first. So I mentioned that, thinking about the possibility. Well, you say, well, why is Goins facing the left-hander? Blue Jays a little bit short right now, and they have to keep their bats on the bench in case they rally and get some people up with runners on. Then they can use those bats later on in the game if they get that opportunity.
Yeah, they might be thinking about the 8th, maybe even the 9th inning, if they bring this lineup back around. Danny Valencia had a huge game yesterday.
4 for 4 for Valencia, getting the start yesterday against Alex Wood. Valencia and Steve Tollison, 2 right-handers making the start, went 6 for 7 in that game.
Danny had a stolen base in yesterday's game also.
We're in the 7th. Blue Jays got on the scoreboard in the 6th. They scored a pair of 2-out runs. Russell Martin doing the trick. Opposite field double. Goins hanging tough against the lefty. Right-hander Cody Martin picked up his first big league win here on Friday night, pitching in relief. Martin threw the 7th inning, gave up a walk and a single, and then the Braves scored 3 in the 8th.
That'll be the biggest part of this game, I think, when he comes in to face all the right-handers with the Blue Jays. Will throw, because you got to figure Greeley's got the 9th. It might be McKirahan here against the lefties, and then Martin versus all the righties, all the way down through Russell Martin.
Navarro is on the bench. Of course, he's a switch hitter. But where are you going to hit unless Goins gets on and they use Navarro for Tollison? So if, say, Goins hits a double, then they might use Navarro as a pinch hitter. Switch hitter gives you some options.
If they bring in the right-hander? Got to think about defense also. He's going to go out there and play defense in the last couple of innings. Those are all the things John Gibbons has to think about.
Off-speed pitch, and Goins strikes out. Shelby Miller with another good start here at Rogers Center. Through 100 pitches, 6 innings, 5 hits, 2 earned runs, and 3 walks, and he's in line for the win.
Well, he got it going in the middle of the innings, didn't he? At one point, he struck out 4 out of 5 batters.
So Freddie Gonzalez on cue. He's got the right-hander Steve Tollefson coming up. Calls upon Cody Martin, excuse me, when we come back. Cody Martin, making his 7th appearance of the season, picked up the win on Friday night. Pitched an inning in that ball game. He will work to Steve Tollefson, who's batting with nobody on and 2 outs.
Put up 1 run. Martin, you mentioned that first big league win the other day with that scoreless inning. He'll get the right-handers here. Got a good breaking ball. That slider is probably his best pitch, and he'll use it as a strikeout pitch. Just enough fastball to make that breaking ball pretty good.
Martin pitched to the top of the order in the 7th inning on Friday night. Came into the ball game and got Devin Travis, Josh Donaldson, then walked Bautista, gave up a single to Encarnacion. And then Deanna Navarro, who was hitting in the 5th spot, flied out to end the inning.
Just enough fastball to get in. You have to respect that breaking ball. It's his best pitch. He'll use that for his strikeout pitch. He's an extreme fly ball type of pitcher. You can see his fastball is pretty straight.
Upstairs, Donaldson with 3 home runs in this series is on deck. Sweeping breaking ball down and away. It's a full count. Josh Donaldson 0 for 3 so far. He has been swinging a red hot bat of late. Average at .320. Good inning for Martin. Couple of strikeouts. The Blue Jays go quietly. We'll move on as the Braves have a 5-2 lead. Lowry slide into Alcides Escobar, the shortstop for the Royals. Giordano Ventura yesterday hit Lowry with a pitch. Bench is emptied there, but the feelings are pretty raw in Kansas City right now.
That's 3 straight days that the benches have emptied there.
They've been out there dancing in the middle of the field, and Ned Yost gets ejected. Ventura got thrown out when he hit Lowry with the pitch. And it all started because of Lowry's hard slide. It wasn't a double play ball at all. It was going to be a force out, and he took out the shortstop. Escobar had to leave the game. And then there was the he said, she said. I sent him a text. Well, I didn't get the text. Well, here it is on my phone. No, it's not. And there was a lot of that going on yesterday.
Oh, those baseball players.
Boys will be boys. Jeff Francis, if he records an out, it'll be the longest relief appearance for the Blue Jays this season. A little pop into right. Bautista is there, and Francis has now thrown 3 1/3.
The championship-winning Honda CRF 450R for those who dare to ride red.
Jeff Francis has allowed 2 singles since entering the game. He came in the 5th. As we mentioned, he has now thrown 3 1/3 innings of relief.
The veterans have come in and really stabilized this game, haven't they?
Marco Estrada ended the 3rd inning by striking out Christian Bethancourt, the catcher. Then he had a good inning in the 4th. He gave up a walk, inning in a 3rd for Estrada.
Well, they're getting exactly what John Gibbons was hoping for. You fall behind 5 runs after 3 innings. Bring Estrada in, bring Francis in, throw up some zeros, and give my offense a chance to get back in this game. And they're just moving the ball around the strike zone. They're changing speeds. They're hitting their spots, and they're holding the Braves at bay.
Interesting ball game. A misplayed double in the 1st inning allowed Johnny Gomes to drive in 3, and that came with 2 outs. Gomes will take a walk. 2nd walk issued by Francis. So Francis goes 3 1/3, gives up 2 hits, 2 walks, strikes out 3. A very good first appearance for Jeff Francis. He does a terrific job in his Blue Jays debut. Francis is out. Osuna is in. pitched in Friday night's game. You know, Osuna's game on Friday night through inning in a third, gave up 2 hits and had a couple of strikeouts.
The Blue Jays' 13th game of the season. Roberto's 6th already. He hasn't given up anything. Look at that. Zip, zip. No earned run average. Good fastball. You see it pumping in there right there. He's not loose yet. And a good changeup and a breaking ball.
Osuna has been well rested. That appearance on Friday was his only appearance in the last 6 days, so he should be strong. Christian Bethancourt loops it into center field. Pompey over to his right, makes the catch. Bullpen has been terrific this afternoon. Estrada, Francis, Osuna, 3 relievers to work so far. Jace Peterson, the second baseman, 0 for 3 with a couple of strikeouts. All the way back to the screen, and Johnny Gomes will go to second on the wild pitch. Runner in scoring position with 2 outs.
You don't see that very often from Osuna. For such a young player who hasn't played a lot of professional baseball, he's got outstanding control and command.
And the ability to throw that changeup any time.
Yeah, and that's why he's so impressive. We've seen Marco Estrada this afternoon, and we've seen Jeff Francis change speeds. Osuna's got better stuff than those two, but the pitchability can do the same thing.
Russell Martin, a snap through, and they got him. Johnny Gomes with 2 outs, trying to get a little extra lead in second. Russell Martin picks him off. Martin's had a heck of a day. A 2-run double, and he's thrown out 2 base runners. 1 stealing and 1 getting too frisky. Johnny Gomes out to end the 8th. Now it's time for Blue Jays Central Update. Here's Jamie Campbell and Greg Zahn.
Slam combo as the Jays take on the Orioles at 7:07. Your combo includes a ticket to the game, a hot dog, nachos, popcorn, peanuts, an apple, and a soft drink. Tickets start at $45. Go to BlueJays.com for more. And Buck, I've thought about it, and I will give you the apple from my combo. How's that?
What a guy. Thanks. You get all the good stuff. I get the apple.
Got to give it to the teacher, right?
He's looking out for you, man. All the healthy stuff.
Josh Donaldson cuts on the first pitch and fouls it out of play. Donaldson 0 for 3. Blue Jays, obviously this is where you'd like to get them right back in the game. Donaldson, Bautista, Encarnacion.
You got your best hitters coming up right here. This is a big inning for young Cody Martin. You got him on his day. Donaldson has been hot. He's been knocking the ball out of the ballpark. He was the hero yesterday. And then Encarnacion.
Edwin singled and scored in the 6th. Bautista walked. He scored on Russell Martin's 2-run double. Only runs the Blue Jays have scored. Donaldson hits it off the end of the bat. Marquez backs up a few steps. 1 down. Cody Martin entered the game in the 7th with 2 outs and struck out Steve Tollison. Bautista walked, as we mentioned, in the 6th. He scored the first Blue Jay run. Jose faced Martin on Friday night and walked with 2 outs. Pops it up. Cameron Maben waits on it. 2 down.
He was not available in yesterday's game. They were asking Freddie Gonzalez after yesterday's game why Martin didn't come in when they had the lead, and they said he was not available because he had pitched the day before. So he gets the rest yesterday, and now he's got to face Encarnacion. You see, Bautista thought he should have got that one.
Sugar Ray Merriman pitched in the 10th, and that would have been a great spot to have Martin available. Edwin Encarnacion 1 for 3. Blue Jays have just 5 hits this afternoon. There's some pitching staff that's going to pay for all the good pitching the Blue Jays have faced. They have been facing some tough pitchers, and Shelby Miller was another one here this afternoon. But you know what? There's a lot of good pitchers in Major League Baseball. Blue Jays aren't swinging the way they will.
That's why they're here. That's why they call it the Major Leagues. You can't go to a higher league. All the good ones are right here.
One of my former managers, and I'm not going to say who it was, and one day we're facing this tough guy. I believe it was Steve Carlton. He said, hey, if he was that good, he wouldn't be here.
Where would he be?
Where would he be? Russell Martin has the only 2 RBIs the Blue Jays have collected here this afternoon, and he'll get another chance with a man at first. The drive of the game is presented by the 2015 Honda CR-V, Motor Trend's 2015 Sport Utility of the Year.
Well, earlier this week, Russell Martin came out early, some early work, trying to drive that ball to right field. They were doing a drill that would help him stay on the ball just a little bit more, and it pays off. Fastball up and away, and he drives the ball the other way. Double into the gap in right center field, scores the Blue Jays 2 runs this afternoon. That is the drive of the game. You can see his approach right now is thinking going to right field.
Well, he's got that front side really locked down, and he's making sure he doesn't fly open. Gives him the opportunity to drive that ball with authority like he did back in the 6th.
It'll keep you on that pitch right there. That breaking ball from Martin. Told you it's his best pitch, and it's his favorite pitch. And if you start thinking about trying to pull that ball, if it's down and away like that, you're going to roll over and ground out. Stay on it and try and hit it hard up the middle.
There he pulls that breaking ball foul. Russell Martin with 2 RBIs. RBIs number 7 and 8 for Martin on the season. Cody Martin catches that outside corner, his second strikeout, both called strike threes. That's the way the Blue Jays end the 8th. Will go to the 9th. The Braves are leading 5-2.
Following today's game, we have the Toyota Grand Prix of Long Beach. Right now on Sportsnet, it is Game 3 between the Preds and Hawks. That series tied at 1. Habs in action tonight against the Senators. Montreal looking to put a stranglehold on that series, already up 2-0. And then the late game, 10 o'clock Eastern, 7 Pacific. It's the Canucks and Flames. That series all tied up at 1 apiece. Buck?
Boy, a great schedule of sports coming up right after this ball game, and we are in the 9th inning. This is the rubber match of this 3-game series. The clubs have split the first 2 games. Roberto Osuna came in and got the final out of the 8th inning. Here's a chopper to Tollison. He shovels quickly to Smoke. Jason Peterson is out. He's 0 for 4.
Boy, nothing. You can't say enough about the Blue Jays relief corps this afternoon. They have been outstanding.
Marco Estrada with an inning and a third of hitless relief. He had a walk and struck out 2. Jeff Francis with the longest relief appearance for the Blue Jays this season, 3 and a third. He gives up 2 hits, walked 2 and struck out 3. Now Osuna has retired 2 batters since coming into the game. It's really interesting. This could be a totally different game if it were not for a misplayed double in the first that led to 3 Braves runs in the first. Johnny Gomes, credited with a 3-run double, went over the head of Dalton Pompey in center. Then Gomes had a sac fly in the third.
There's also an error in there, a throwing error that cost the Blue Jays a run. Or it could be 2-1 right now. Blue Jays winning.
Anderson Simmons, the number 9 hitter, reaches for that outside pitch. Jason Grilli, their closer, is getting loose. Grilli picked up the save, his 5th of the season on Friday night. Fly ball into right. Bautista almost in his steps makes the catch. First pitch strike to Cameron Maben. 2 outs. Line drive to Bautista. Shuffles back, and Osuna retires all 4 he faces. Bullpen has done their job. It'll be Smoke Pilar and Pompey facing Jason Grilli when we come back. Russell Martin's had a big day with the bat and with his arm. He actually picked off Johnny Gomes to end the 8th inning, and that would give Roberto Osuna an inning and 2/3. And the Blue Jays bullpen has combined to throw 6 1/3 innings of scoreless relief here this afternoon.
Just what John Gibbons needed to try and give them a chance to win this one. Jason Grilli comes in for his 6th game. He's 5 for 5 in save opportunities this year. He was signed on Christmas Eve this past year to a 2-year contract by the Atlanta Braves, so you had to figure something was up. And when they traded their closer right before the season, Grilli has taken over that 9th inning role.
Grilli tied for the lead with 5 saves in the National League. Kansas City's Greg Holland is tied with 4 other relievers, and Holland just went on the disabled list. Oh, and 2 quickly to Justin Smoke. Smoke has gone 1 for 2 with the walk, had a single in the 2nd, struck out in the 5th. Jason Grilli's had quite a career. He was a former #1 pick out of Seton Hall in New Jersey, and he's had some arm problems. He went through a lot of early career injuries, but boy, lately he's been a very reliable relief pitcher.
He was a closer a couple of years ago with the Pirates, so this isn't anything foreign to him.
He strikes out Justin Smoak, first out of the bottom of the ninth. I want to remind you there's some great Stanley Cup playoff action right now on Sportsnet. The Predators against the Blackhawks, game 3 of that series. It's going on right now. And lots of hockey later on tonight as well, so check the schedule. Make sure you check it out. Kevin Pillar 0 for 3. Blue Jays 2 runs on 5 hits. The Braves 5 runs on 8 hits. This is a big pop-up. The shortstop Simmons waits for it. Blue Jays down to their final out. Jason Grilli is the son of Steve Grilli, who played for the Tigers and the Blue Jays.
And the Blue Jays, that's right.
Steve Grilli had a nice long career, especially he was really big part of the Syracuse Chiefs, and he made his home in Syracuse, still lives there. And Steve Grilli and I were teammates in 1978 in Puerto Rico.
And you remember young Jason.
It's hard to fathom that he was the little infant that was crawling around my apartment in San Juan.
And here he is dealing in the big leagues. By my count, 11 organizations Jason Grilli has pitched with. That is a long time in the big leagues. That's a lot of jerseys to hang in your basement. 11 organizations.
Dalton Pompey checks his swing. Grilli is firing nothing but strikes.
Well, he's got that late breaking ball, and he'll use that for strikeouts. He can sink that fastball. Right now he's throwing darts. 96 we've seen with that fastball.
Jason Grilli 3 up 3 down with a couple of strikeouts, picks up his major league leading 6th save of the season. Johnny Gomes with a 4 RBI afternoon, and Gomes was the difference offensively as the Braves take 2 of 3 from the Blue Jays.
3-run double and a sacrifice fly. It's been a rough series and really a rough homestand so far for the Blue Jays. They lost 3 out of 4 to Tampa. They lose this series to the Braves. They get an off day, and then they get the Orioles coming into town. So time to turn it around.
Doesn't get any easier. Orioles will be here Tuesday night. Braves take 2 of 3. Thanks for watching. We'll see you Tuesday night. Here's Jamie Campbell to Greg Zorn.